Hey, welcome back everybody. You're listening to Ultimate Affiliate Marketing. I am your host, it's Paul Motley here. And today, special day. So in the UK, this is November 5th, is Guy Fawkes night, right? And if you've no idea what that is, the story goes that someone got really disgruntled with the government and decided they wanted to blow up the House of Parliament, which is obviously seen as a very negative and a terrorist act these days. But yeah, he got completely fed up with the government, but they caught him. And obviously that was the end of him. And for some reason, we still celebrate this in the UK. But it's kind of like, people used to have bonfires, they'll do fireworks and all this sort of like celebration and thing, which sounds kind of weird when you actually think about the reasons behind it all. But I just wanted to go back. Now, if you listen to the podcast every day, and believe me, if it's your first time listening, I do these every day, so there's a ton of value that you can get from them. So make sure you do subscribe so that you don't miss out on stuff. Well, probably about a month ago, I ran a couple of experiments, and I always prefer to put my own money on the line and test out things, and without sort of like trying to sell people on programs that are just theory, right? So I wanted to do it myself. And when starting out, it wasn't actually meant to be any sort of like training that I was going to offer out to anybody else. It was purely for my benefit. It was something that I'd seen. I thought, right, okay, well, I can test this, I can tweak it, I can do my own spin on it and see how it goes. And what it was using a relatively unknown feature on Facebook ads. Now, I'm going to tell you all about it because this is one of the benefits that you get from being a podcast listener, because I do tend to let the cat out the bag, so to speak, on the podcast, whereas in other places to get the same information, you might have to pay. So there's another incentive for you to keep listening, right? So I was using lead ads, and what I found was that I had a few resources laying around, one of which was a mini membership where I kept lots of the tools and the trainings and the bonus stuff that I've collected over the last few years, and they called it the Affiliate Toolbox, right? So that's what I thought. And normally on these podcast episodes, you get a link in the show notes to get access to this anyway. So I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll use Canva. I'll make a mock-up so it looks like a book. It's not really a book, but it looked way better than a toolbox trying to make a mock-up of, right? So, and I couldn't find any decent images. So the ebook cover, if you like, became the toolbox, right? And it wasn't super professional. It took me like 5 or 6 minutes to put it together as a graphic. And I ran a couple of ads. And what happened was that I was getting incredibly cheap leads for it. And I'm talking like super cheap. Now, ordinarily, if you're running Facebook ads, they are starting to get more and more expensive these days. And sometimes you were paying, just for a click, $1, $2, sometimes even $3 if your targeting wasn't right and the ad wasn't relevant and all that stuff. So it's crazy because by the time people got to your landing page, they then had to opt in. So your actual leads cost could be $5 or $6 or even higher. And that's kind of worrying, right? Now, if you're running ads to a webinar, which is a high ticket offer, then, people will pay as long as they know the numbers along the funnel. If they know the conversion rates and the show-up rates that they're getting on webinars, they can still make those figures work. In fact, I know some people that pay up to they can pay up to like $25 per opt-in or per registrant for a webinar because they know that they can make it on the back end with high-ticket products, right? So when I was getting leads, and I'm talking about email leads here, I'm not just talking about clicks, I think I did like the so-called tier 1 countries, and that was averaging cost around, I think it was around 60 cents, something like that, which is still incredibly cheap. I mean, I would normally have expected to pay more just for a click, right? Forget the fact I was getting someone's email address and they were opting in. But worldwide, it was, in most times, it was less than 3 cents, and sometimes even lower. I think it averaged around 6 cents per email subscriber. So, of course, you can spend way more and get way more people on your email list. And I think I zapped it straight up and I think I did something crazy, like almost like 10,000 people on my email list through this method. And what I found was there were still bits that I wanted to do to it, but I thought, this is so great, I should share this, right? So I put it out on my Facebook for $97 and just let people say, okay, look, I'm just going to let this open for like 5 days. If you want it, great. If you don't, fine. And in the end, 18 people bought it, which was great. Obviously, a bunch of people started using it as well, started feeding back to me and saying they were getting some really cool success with it. But it wasn't just using the lead ads. It was how to connect it up to make sure that you got it on your email autoresponder so that people were then getting a longer campaign that you could follow up with and nurture and build and provide value for. And ultimately what we want is affiliate sales, and that's where it started filtering down. And I started noticing the odd commissions coming in, like $15 here, $100 there, and all of a sudden I thought, ad spend, fine, yeah, we've got that, but then the commissions are coming in, so it made sense. And I thought, right, what else can we do? How else can we make it better? And originally what I was doing was I was feeding people through a messenger bot series as well. So as soon as they'd click through, they weren't going to a landing page, they were going to a messenger bot series, which then meant they were on that list, and it was all great. And because I wasn't using it that much, what actually happened was Facebook suddenly saw a massive surge in users on my messenger bot, and they quickly stopped the page because they thought it was all some suspicious activity, blah, blah, blah. Thankfully, I've got that back now, but it was kind of crazy. So I probably should have just gone a little bit slower on the ad spend there and not really gone massive on it. But as I carried on, I started trying different things, using different things, and eventually built this training up into something a bit more meaningful. And it ended up being, I think I opened it last week for like $297 because it's worth it. Simply put, it is crazy. But I want to do another test. And this time it's going to be going to directly into a low ticket offer. And what I didn't do last time, I didn't separate the actual leads which were coming in that were just going into one big list, which was probably a mistake. Now I want to segment that so I have the tier 1 and then the worldwide on separate email lists, which means I'm going to have separate ads for them, I'm going to have separate lead forms, and also as well I'm going to send them to a very cheap offer, right, which is a $1 offer, talking about how to get crazy amount of leads for free using another platform that not many people really consider because they just don't, right? But I've seen so many testimonials of people using this platform and think, okay, right, well, they seem to be doing well on it. Let's try it out. So what I've done is I've created the lead ads themselves, one for tier 1 and one for worldwide. I've connected up separate ClickFunnels pages as well, because again, I wanted to make sure it was completely separate so I could see the opt-in rates. I could then split test each individual page as well, which is a bridge page to the offer in the first place, okay? And then having a separate mini follow-up series for each one before I put them onto the main follow-up sequence. But the reason why I wanted a separate follow-up sequence for each one is because then I can add in little tracking codes on those clicks that come through each of the bridge funnel so that I know where the sales have come from, because otherwise what's the point in doing all the split tests? You want to make sure that you think, okay, right, if I'm spending, let's say it's 60 cents to get an email off someone, and then they go ahead and buy something and I get like a commission of, I don't know, whatever it be on that, because there are upsells within the funnel itself. If I can average more than 60 cents commission per email, then I'm essentially building the list for free. And anything else after that is pure profit. Now imagine being able to build a list in this way so that you are effectively making money every month then going forward, because you know that by having a main follow-up sequence where you can build out trust, you can build out likability, you can nurture it, you can look after it, and then you can start offers, you can put offers in that are relevant to that audience as well, because not every offer is relevant to every person, okay? So certain offers will be suitable for people that are in tier 1. Certain offers will be suitable for people that are worldwide, right? So it kind of like makes sense to do these sort of split tests and these experiments to keep going. And that's kind of like what's going on now. So if I ever manage to get onto Wi-Fi over the next couple of days and be able to set the ads up properly, then that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. And I want to make sure that I put it out there, and then I can start reporting back to you guys so you know how it's going, if it's going, what it's doing, what it's not doing, where I can get better, what worked, what didn't work, that sort of thing. But anyway, that's me signing off for today, and I'll catch you all again tomorrow.